Hi, this is Medhat Elmasry. In today's video, we're going to add a UI to your WebAPI project in ASP.NET 9.0. At the bottom of the screen, you will find a link to a companion article for this video. Why did Microsoft remove support for Swagger UI in ASP.NET 9.0? The first reason is maintenance. The community owner of the Swashbuckle package no longer actively maintains the package. The second reason is security. Microsoft wanted a solution with better security. The third reason is control. Microsoft wanted a solution also with more control. And finally, support, because Microsoft also wanted a solution whereby they can provide first-class support. What replaced Swagger? There's a new package, Microsoft.AspNetCore.OpenApi, that is included by default in .NET 9. In order to follow along today's video, you need to have .NET 9.0 and Visual Studio Code installed on your computer. Let's get started. The first thing we'll do is create a simple web API solution in our working directory. So I'm going to type in .NET new web API, and the output directory is going to be web API demo. Let's go into this new directory and run the app. So if I go .NET watch, you will notice that even though we're using .NET Watch, it doesn't load the application into our browser. We have to go and browse ourselves. I will stop the application and open the source code in VS Code. So if you go to the CS project file, you will see that this is the new package that's being used. This is a minimal API application as opposed to controller based. Over here, you will see that it's adding the OpenAPI service. In addition to this line of code, you will see that we have this statement app.MapOpenApi that is doing some of the routing. Let me start my application again with .NET Watch. If I go into the browser and point to the address openapi/v1.json, it contains a description of my web API service. Unfortunately, we don't have a good looking UI that we're accustomed to having with ASP.NET 7.0 and 8.0. Let's restore the Swagger UI. To do that, we need to add the Swashbuckle.AspNetCore package. So I'm going to type in .NET add package and Swashbuckle.AspNetCore, and that should add the Swashbuckle package. We can come into this section here and add this code. We need to point to the JSON file and give a name to our UI. If we run our application, we should be able to see the UI. Now the UI will be located at an endpoint /Swagger. And there you go. We have the UI that we've been accustomed to using in the past. If I execute it, it all works. If I want the UI to be in the root of my address line, I can do that by adding yet another option here. And the option is route prefix, and I'll set that to nothing basically. If I do that and I restart my application, you will notice that I can get to it without having to go /Swagger. It will be right there in the root. There are other alternatives to Swagger UI. One of the better ones is called Scalar. Let's first add the Scalar package. .NET add package, and it's simply Scalar.AspNetCore. Let us add Scalar to be the default UI for our application. To do that, I'm going to comment this out. We only need to replace the code that we commented out with this. And of course, we must resolve a namespace here. So we're going to import Scalar.AspNetCore. Let's try it out. Going back into our browser, the address for that is Scalar/v1, and that will give us a very different UI. Of course, you should explore this on your own, but I'll just show you a few things. If you click on the endpoint here, and you will notice that you can get the source code for a client by looking at the different languages that you can choose from. Let's choose C# HTTP client, and you can see here it gave us the C# code that allows us to consume the API. You can also toggle between dark and light mode by clicking on this switch at the bottom of the UI. You can tweak the UI to look different. For example, let's come here and replace this code with one that provides for more fine-tuned configuration. Here you can specify the title, you can specify a theme, and you can also set a default language. If you're mostly going to work with C#, then you want to set the default language to C#. Let us restart this application and see what it looks like. So back in the browser, let me refresh this. You will see that it has changed to a lighter version of black. In fact, it is maybe dark gray, and the default language here is C# HTTP client, which is what we configured it to be. To wrap things up, let us make the UI that we configured the default page that gets loaded up automatically when you type in .NET Watch. And to do that, we will go to the Properties folder and open up this launch settings. And for that, we will set the launch URL to be the default page, which is Scalar/v1. And we will do the same for the HTTPS block. So I'm going to copy this one and bring it down to the HTTPS block. And for both of them, the value of launch browser is false. Let's make that true and make it true here as well. And now if we shut down our app and do a .NET Watch, it should load the UI automatically in our browser. And there it goes. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please give it the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.